Welcome everyone to the coaches interviews. Our first coach for season 8 is Kay. Say hello.
Hi,
There he is.
hi, hi.
He coaches the
The little
Rugrats.
people,
Yeah, the little
little people.
kids. He makes kids fight. And before you could defend yourself on that, let's get started with your first question.
Yeah.
What do you think is your team's greatest weakness?
The team as a whole, it's just difficult to build for because they're all fairly melee heavy, and they all have good melee. So it's like a good issue to have, but it's just uh, allocating resources the most effective way possible. So building strategically is the toughest part of the league, or
Yeah.
the weakest part of my team.
And the new difficulty is probably one of the
Yeah,
reasons for that.
that doesn't
It's
help.
more,
Doesn't
yeah,
help.
more melee heavy difficulty. AI just tend to be more aggressive. Um, yeah, probably a lot of teams in the league are having that issue, to be honest. So, but it's yeah, for a team that has really fast melee like yours, that's probably a good thing.
And no, like I said, definitely not a bad thing
Yeah,
because the speed, we're faster than 95% of the league. I want to say in melee. I think we're definitely the fastest average melee on the
oh,
team just because smaller
definitely.
people have faster melee. So it's a lot of fun. It's good. Yeah, I think it kind of forces teams to think about these guys are fast. We have to build around them. So
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have.
yeah. So your team's doing a lot better this season. What's your goal for it?
Um, I think we have a chance. I definitely want to make the playoffs. That's step one. Step two is to win a playoff game. Step three is to win the Tenkaichi Bowl. We're gonna approach it one step at a time to get there.
Yeah, but you're reaching for the stars right now. If you do
Absolutely.
manage to get to the stars, manage to reach the Tenkaichi Bowl, what team do you think you're going to face there?
Um, I think androids are gonna be tough.
So,
Malachis always forms great builds. They're just difficult to play for. We never seem to compete well against them, and they're always really good. The other team I think could be a sleeper is Derp. They're scary. Nova's scary. It's
that's
it
an interesting
they're
pick.
they're a significantly better team than they have been in the past. I think Durangel's finally got his builds underneath him and he understands how things work. So let's see what I'm excited for Derp this season to watch.
Yeah, that first choice, the androids, is a very solid pick. I don't think they've ever dropped out of East Sky since, at least since I've been in the league.
Hmm.
Um, Derp, that's an interesting choice because
I think they're the sleeper. I think them or Afterlife are really good sleeper picks. Afterlife's scary.
it would be
Afterlife's real
very,
scary.
it would be very fun to see one of those teams in the bowl.
They're very scary.
Hmm.
Afterlife, I think Afterlife isn't as talented as the Super Saiyans, obviously, but they're talented. They have a really good roster. They had a ridiculous amount of Zay to start, which is fair. So they got a really, really good free agent. They're in a really good spot.
Yeah, and speaking of the scariness of Afterlife, what do you think is the scariest team to face?
Um, like I for us, it's the androids because Duro seems to love to grab our guys, and none of us know how to deal with grabs at all. And once they get grabbed, it seems to throw everything off on our guys.
I'm gonna share a secret with you. It's a really special build. It's called a power body build.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Beautiful.
aware. I'm aware it's a great build, but it doesn't matter. Not the key
Okay.
drain. The key drain's the rough part.
Well, no, but that's my point. He because Jiro's a melee fighter, and he can only grab you if he's able to pull off that melee game. So, to anyone who's not aware, power bodies should make a
Oh,
difference in that department due to
we've tried. It
you'll
it
push
doesn't
through as he
work.
punches.
It
Ah,
doesn't work. We've
well,
tried.
okay. Well, I'm going off my personal experience. Our team tried it. We ended up working with it. So I guess different experiences for different teams. But yeah. So if the androids are the scariest to face, are they also the hardest to build for? Is there a team that you just like? I don't know how to counter these people. They're either too unpredictable or they've got characters that there's no way to counter.
No, there's not really an easy team to build for in the league. They all have different strengths and weaknesses.
Right, but you can
There's
predict some teams,
You
and
can
there's
predict
some
certain teams
teams
better than
that
others,
have
but that kind of
gimmicks.
depends on how depends on how coaches plan a lot of different things. It's much more even than I think records indicate sometimes. A lot of the time, they're there. They're right neck and neck. It's all about getting just close enough.
Yeah. One thing about the record, one of the thing about records is there's gonna be someone at the bottom and there's gonna be someone at the top. There's no way there
Exactly.
isn't. So there'll always be
Right.
a gap. Um, Now let's talk about you entering the league. What made you want to be a part of this, and how'd you even become a coach?
Well, funny you ask that question. I found the league when I was probably like an eighth grader. So like I think it was around season two. I stumbled upon it, and then and it sounded really cool, but I didn't want to get involved. So I saw like a couple matches, and then I lost it. And then a couple years later, I stumbled upon it again and decided, yeah, let's join. I think it's gonna. This seems fun. I have free time. This should be a good energy thing. Would be fun for me to do. And I joined and saw that Rugrats had a coaching application open, and I said, okay, let's go. And submitted my builds, and was lucky enough to become coach. And that's how I got introduced.
Wow. So just, I mean, I think that's a pretty stereotypical introduction. It's like, oh, I found this on YouTube. And then
Mhm.
you watch it for a little bit. It's like, okay, this is really cool. And then you jump into the forums. But you went straight into being a coach. You weren't even a supporter at one time. You just
Correct.
went right in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which hindsight 2020 probably wasn't the greatest idea, but it
Eh,
worked out.
it's worked out. You're here. Your team's doing well, so no harm, no foul.
Okay.
On to the next question then. What teams grab your interest outside of your own team? So if you
Half-Life.
weren't, so if you weren't on the Rugrats, you'd go after them. You go into their team.
Yeah, Afterlife, it's just they're the new thing. I think they're very interesting. They got a really good lineup. PyCon's like top three favorite characters in DBZ of all time. They got him, so like there's benefits like as far as favorite characters go. There's talented. I think their FCD is a great coach. I think he's an interesting guy. I imagine their builds are really interesting, and they had a lot. They have a lot of things going for them this season.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would be interested.
Yeah.
If I wasn't a coach, I'd probably go there, but you never know.
One more question about this. What's interesting about PyCon? Now, on a personal note, this is about Dragon Ball Z. On a personal note, I never found that character interesting. Why are people so infatuated with the character? Tell me.
He's just cool. Like you show up, your introduction to him in the anime is he's in a tournament and he's not scared of Goku. After Goku like is throwing around 80 tons of weight, and he's like, "Nah, that's nothing." Then he goes. There's something going on in hell, and he goes and kills Frieza and Cell with one move. And this is after you saw Goku take like 25 hours to beat Frieza on Namek, and he does it in one fell swoop. That's a hell of an introduction, if I do say so myself. So I've always been interested in it.
Okay, fair point to all the PyCon fans. Um Next question then. What do you think is the key to victory? So some teams go to try a balance everything, and some teams go like, it's a glass cannon format. We're gonna have these characters that are strongest. We're gonna build them. We're gonna give them everything, and then our subpar characters. Well, we don't have many Patars left. Whatever, they get the scraps. Well, what's your way of doing things?
Um, Consistency equals success. So the more consistent we are as a team, the better we're going to be as a whole. Because this chain is, I guess, the more correct analogy would be the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if we don't have any like diamond chains, but we don't have any wood chains either, like they're all really strong, like they're all relatively the same. Some people say certain chains are better than others, and then like they vary, but they're consistent. And as long as they're good and consistent, then that's going to make it easiest for us to win.
All right. On to the next question. How do you feel about the changes that happened over the season? So there's quite a few. There's the Master Blast ban on a couple characters like Third Form and the Vegetas. There's no teen go on Super Saiyan 2 to start off in.
Hmm.
There's a ban on Savior with cutscene ultimates. There's the obvious Super Saiyan drops. There's a bunch of stuff that went on.
Hmm.
What's your opinion on all of it, really? Just your general view.
Um, Wait and see. I think Master Blast. It was kind of interesting to see how people were able to take advantage of that. Because it was a petard that was never used in the first 6 seasons of the league, pretty much. And then all of a sudden, here it is getting nerfed after the 7th. So that shows how the league's evolving and how people are able to take advantage of this new difficulty and stuff. The Savior ban was obvious. I think it was needed, and you can't like pick and choose because like it's pretty obvious who the ban was made for, and it wasn't for every character.
Yeah, I don't think anyone had a complaint with that ban, to be
No.
honest.
No, but like, so certain characters use it a lot more than say Goten, who's on my team. He used like it twice, versus people who spammed it like 3 to 4 times. And I understand like, or 3 to 4 times a match. So like, I understand like why there needed to be a nerf, and like I'm not complaining about it, but that's just kind of my thoughts on that front. Then Super Saiyans getting dropped is difficult to swallow because they were kind of the main draw of the league. Like I came in saying I want to beat that team, and now I don't really have that goal. So there's not really a benchmark variability to base their team off of. So it'll be interesting to see how the league progresses in an era post Super Saiyans. And I know they're not technically gone; they're still in the gauntlet. But I don't know. It'll be interesting.
All right. What is your opinion on Gotenks? So, that one crazy fighter that comes out of Fusion. A lot of people, it's a polarizing discussion. Some people think it's shit. People think, oh my god, how can you not?
Right.
What's your view?
Without giving too much away, it's a discussion topic that happens a lot in our Discord server.
Yeah, man.
People have opinions on them. It's just kind of, we have to take a statistical approach. We can't let emotions get in the way of our decision here. We have to think logically about everything. And that's how we're making our decisions. Gotenks is definitely not dead. It's still a discussion we're having, but we have to test him more. And there's so many unknowns. For instance, nobody knows what AI he gets. We're pretty confident he gets the AI of the person who initiates the fusion, but it can't be confirmed.
Well, have you guys done a test where you took one AI that's basically the polar opposite of the other character's AI? So like Piccolo and Tien.
We did Tien and Trunks.
Oh, okay, good choices.
And couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
Oh, wow.
So it's very
Here's a suggestion. Raccoon AI is one of them. You'll know if it's more grabby. You'll know.
Theoretically, but part of me even thinks about straight to default AI, but there's no way to really tell.
Right.
So that it's an added layer of risk on as far as initiating fusions. And then there's the whole will he fuse, won't he fuse? So there's a lot of risk with it. And and we're also giving away our best statistical character in Trunks. Or maybe not statistical, but our best fighter in Trunks.
I know. I think everyone agrees he's the best on your team. I think that's.
And then Goten is showing a lot of promise. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be worth it in order for us to use it.
Yeah. I think it's safe to assume that unless he does something amazing in the preseason, you guys won't use him right off the bat. That's a safe assumption. I'm not going to make you answer that because that's plans, but I think that's a safe assumption. So, on to the next question then. We talked about how your team did better last season. You guys are now in North Kai. How does it feel to be there, and why is it that much better that the Super Saiyans are gone now?
I mean, it's easier, I guess. Like, it's just, to an extent, it's easier. There's not a monster that I have to worry about in our division. Or should I say a 5-headed dragon. That I have to worry about, but they're still good. It's still an interesting, like, it's still a tier. It's just an honor, really, because the only thing with how much changes every offseason and how much teams and characters seem to perform differently every year, even if you don't change builds, like they just perform differently. It's just a place mark. It's just a way to group you up. Because people have gone from south to north, and people have gone from north to south. So it really doesn't matter. It's just kind of a start, and it's just who you have to face in the playoffs.
Now, I'm going to make an argument with you there because I feel it does matter. In the sense that, okay, first of all, the Super Saiyans are gone, so what does that does is it allows other
that's a
teams to
giant.
win the bye week. It's not the.
Yeah,
'Cause-
exactly.
yeah, it allows other teams to win the bye week because let's be honest, they've won the bye week nearly every season they've been in the
I
league.
think they have won it every season.
Yeah, so that's something insane. No other team has really gotten it away from them. Now they have a chance. Aside from that, though, you're in a division with stronger teams. On average, the stronger teams will be in North Kai and East Kai.
Right.
Yeah, some teams
Exactly.
fall off, but let's take Team Cold and Team Boo, for example. They fell out in North Kai before.
Mhm.
But when they were out in North Kai in the divisions they were the dominant team in those divisions. So they can have bad seasons, but they're always still strong teams. It's not like, oh, for a couple seasons they're bad, for a couple seasons they're good. No,
Right.
they're strong
No.
teams that have bad seasons.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's still just a place marker. Like you still prepare to face each team the same way every week, regardless of who you're facing.
Well, my argument is your divisional matches, the ones that you have to prepare for, the ones that mean more, are tougher. That should be the sort
Yeah,
of-
but it's more fun.
yeah. Oh no, that I think you guys will have a ton of fun with all your fighters.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. On to the next question. Rugrats used to be a pretty clash-heavy team, but that identity has kind of vanished now. What was that on purpose? Did you guys force all the clash boosts off and try to move them away from that? Is there a reason why? And what do you think the Rugrats will be known for now? Because they really were known for being the clash-heavy team. Everyone's like, okay, we're facing Rugrats. Let's put a bunch of
Dragon Power,
Yeah.
Power Rage, Power
It's
Rage.
like we're gonna.
And that is exactly why we had to switch. That exact thought. People were able, basically what was happening is people were seeing our builds and saying, wow, they like to clash a lot. So we're going to throw 2 Dragon Powers and 2 Power Rages, and we're just going to clash them. Or they would just say, we're just going to accept we're losing clashes, and we're going to build around it. We're going to have 7-point builds to counter their 5 and 4-point builds. So we had to get away from it just because people knew what they were expecting, and that's not good in this league where the coaches are smart. They like to predict everything, and there's a constant like reading and stuff. And when you're not able to switch up your reads that you're giving to opponent teams, it's a lot harder for you to build. It's a lot harder to be more hard to predict.
Yeah, for the people who aren't part of the forums and part of a team who just watch and spectate, there is a lot of analysis and predictions and even a bit of mind games that go on. It is a very strategic league for being a really oddly made fantasy league in a sense. It's very
Yeah.
strategic.
It's like, okay, people probably aren't going to expect to see Go Tanks every week, but I could.
Yeah.
So they have to kind of think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if in the way I think of it, the more you make them think about, the less time they're actually spending planning for you, rather for what you're actually going to bring, and more they're worried about what they think you might bring. It's like if G, who's the coach of the Saiyans, were ever to say, bring a team that was designated to go 8, like that was the goal. Like we're going 8 all the time. People would have to predict that.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak on the Saiyans. As for the Saiyans here, now apes suck. We're never gonna use them. Don't expect them. Okay, when we fight you, just like go easy on us, man. That's cool. You'll win. We'll let you win. Promise.
I'll wait for the 8 builds.
I promise, man. In all seriousness, though, your team is probably one I wouldn't go ape against because GT.
GT Goku. GT Goku's a really, really nice character to have.
Yeah,
That's the
he's
other
a
thing.
great
Like you have to
character.
look at what your opponents have. So like there's certain characters, GT Goku on Super Saiyan 3, Kid Buu, or Rayleigh, who break through power body. So you got to be careful about like what you bring to certain things. It's all
Yeah,
mind
it's
games
part of strategy.
are next level.
Yeah, man. That's part of the strategy. The small little things each character can do. Not everyone's the same in the league.
Hmm. Makes it
All
fun.
right. Next question then. How do you feel about your division and the competition in it? So, refresh me on who is in your division at the moment.
We got DBW, Dragon Ball Warriors,
Deserving.
Booze, us, and Gohans.
A strong set.
Strong set indeed. But I'm excited for it. And the reason is A, Booze is a lot of fun. I forget, I just pulled it up. I forget if we're there. We faced the Booze this week or this coming week in the preseason. And I forget if we're here or if we're at home or away. I kind of want to be away because I would like to play Hyperbolic Time Chamber.
Everyone likes that map.
It's so much fun. So that's a positive. But yeah, they're talented. Like I said, they're tough. Gohans will be interesting to see how they adapt
Previous champions.
without. Yeah, they're the defending champs, but they lost their best character. So I'll be interested to see how they adapt to that.
To argue that point, they lost their best, but they gained adult go on.
Yeah. Oh, adult scary is all get out. I'm aware, but they still lost. Team Gohan Super Saiyan 2 was the reason they won the Tenkaichi Bowl. Don't even pretend like it's not.
No,
So
I
they
agree with you. I just think their team's a little bit more balanced across the board now because base form is finally showing up for future, and adult go on in base was amazing for Dragon Ball Warriors last season. So
Yeah, that's the other thing. DBW lost their free agent,
yeah,
so like it's a whole different league.
but they
'Cause
got
I could argue
cheeky, so
Right. I could argue DBW. A lot of their wins were designated to their free agent, which is exactly how it should be. It allows teams who don't have as strong of a base roster to make a strong base to increase their overall team strength. And DBW and their coach did a great job, and look at how it ended with them. They ended up in North Kai.
Yeah.
So that's just that's the debate that we've been having. So I'm looking forward to facing each and every one of them.
yeah, I think just speaking on for Dragon Ball Warriors, I do think the rest of their team also fought pretty well. But
Oh yeah, Nam's
having
great.
the addition, Nam and Early Go, I thought those two were like their keys, and then Adult Gohan he's the third strong character that pushes them over the edge into North Kai. And
Exactly.
basically the second best record or third best record. I forgot what.
They're tied for the first.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
If you don't count Super Saiyans, which I'm not.
Yeah, fair enough. Next question. What record do you guys think you'll end with this season?
10
What you
and
hope for? What you
10-5, 9-6, right around there.
10-5's a high number, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's aiming. I mean, you guys did it last season, so
9-6, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should always try and improve. And like, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think if you don't aim your goals high, what's the even point of you setting goals?
you can also be safe and not emotionally destroy yourself. Set your
Nah.
goals to nothing, and then you'll be like,
Nah.
"Oh my god, I won a match."
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
how
No,
I
you're right.
use
I'll
at
change my
least.
prediction. I think we'll go 0-15.
Thank you. Hey, plus side, you get all the Zenny at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This plan for like 5 seasons ahead. Ultra.
Oh, no, apparently Zenny don't carry over. I checked.
All right. Nearing the end here. So let's talk about you as a coach for a little bit. How would you describe your coaching style? So some coaches have a rigid schedule they do each week where they're like, this day we're doing lineups, this day we're doing builds, this day we're doing costumes. And some are like, hey, you guys around? Let's talk. How do you
Definitely the latter. It's more relaxed. Generally, so I'll watch the matches Monday night. Give a quick here's how I thought the team did, and then we give a day just to kind of recover, and then we start building for the next week. And it's just kind of like, I think we should go here, here, here. What do you guys think? And then we discuss.
How many supporters does Rugrats have? Active supporters, ones that will show up at least every week, once every week.
5, if counting me. 4, not counting me.
That's insane.
Yeah, we got Dimension Satire, Toshiro, Lloyd, and a very smug Leaf. And they're all good. They all have very good ideas. It's just kind of finding the happy balance. And I'm kind of trying to be, I try and moderate, so
Yes.
to say. We're just
So
kind
I'm assuming
of
there's a
like,
lot of conflict at times where it's half
uh,
of them are because it's four supporters and you're the tiebreaker.
mhm. I honestly haven't had to break any ties this year so far. It's early, but I haven't really had to. It's kind of just we discuss, and so like if someone says, "I think we should try KSA on this character this week," I was like, "Okay, I think that makes sense because he can do this, 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 right?" It's like, yeah, and then so we kind of just factor that in. So we kind of build together. It's interesting, and like very rarely do people have like straight, I think this is an awful idea, I won't go for it mentalities. So it's at least in our group chat. So it's
Negative
very nice,
Nancy's.
very creative. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Constructive criticism. That sounds like a good group of supporters to have and a large group of them as
They're
well.
great.
So,
I'm lucky.
yeah. With that being said, we're gonna finish up the interview here. But before we go, do you have anything to say to anyone who's undecided, who's looking to join a team?
Find the team that you're passionate about for some reason or another. Don't like go for the winning. If you like, okay, don't. If you think Dragon Ball, if you like Dragon Ball Z or Nom or Kid Goku, go Dragon Ball Warriors. If you thought Frieza was the coolest thing you've ever seen, go join Cold. If you like the androids. Just don't pick a team just because of success. Because success, when you help generate it, is much more rewarding than success that you inherit.
And you're so modest. I would have just plugged my own team like crazy.
Nah,
Anyway,
I mean,
that's.
I'll take you. I think I would love to have more supporters. I
Yeah.
mean, we're fun. We're children. We say that Slug is our babysitter and he stabs us with rusty knives, and that's why we're doing better. But, it's fun.
That is a very weird.
It's a weird
Yeah.
relationship. I mean,
Okay.
last time I wasn't even sure what gender our babysitter was. So, it's fine.
Oh, come on. That was a luscious woman you had there. Don't lie.
Was it a woman? I did.
Yes. Anyway, that's the end of the coach's interview for Team Rugrats Coach K, or K Rain. Those are his only two names, nothing else.
Right.
Yeah. If you guys are interested in coaches' interviews, more will be coming out, hopefully, sooner rather than later.
Hmm.
And if you're interested in the YCast in general, we will be doing sort of quarterly YCast podcast for the league. We'll be doing it about every 3 to 4 weeks, depending on
Give or take.
yeah a couple things. But expect those to come out soon. We should be doing one for the preseason. If you guys have any comments, have any questions about for the coach or for the YCast, leave
Let
them
us know.
in the forums first, because that's more likely where we'll see it,
Hmm.
or in the comments if you don't have a forum account or don't want to go there. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Goodbye.